There's a study on people on death row. When they know with complete certainty they have only 24 hours left to live, they often report something unexpected, which is a deep sense of calm, not because they've made peace with it, because the uncertainty is gone. And that's the key to understanding how manifestation actually works. It has nothing to do with energy, vibrations, or the universe responding to your requests. It has everything to do with what that uncertainty does to your brain and what happens when you remove it. Now let's get into the science behind it. The first thing manifestation does is it calms down your amygdala. Now if you're not familiar with amygdala, think of it as your brain's alarm system. Its entire job is to scan for danger, and when it finds any, it goes off. And the key thing is your amygdala is not afraid of bad outcomes, it is afraid of uncertain outcomes. Let me say that again because it's counterintuitive. Your brain doesn't panic because something bad is definitely going to happen. It panics because it doesn't know what's going to happen. Think about what that actually means. If you think about those death row inmates we talked about at the start, they're not facing a good outcome. They're probably facing the worst possible outcome a human being can face, and yet they're calm. It's because the amygdala has nothing left to fight. There is no what if. The outcome for them is decided, and in a strange, almost disturbing way, that certainty is more comfortable to the brain than the open-ended torture of not knowing. Now flip that around and think about what it is like waiting for medical results or the night before a job interview. The bad thing hasn't happened yet, and it might not even happen, but your amygdala is screaming because it doesn't know, and not knowing is what it's wired to treat as dangerous. What this tells us is something most people completely miss about why manifestation actually works. It's not about just attracting good outcomes, it's about removing the uncertainty that keeps your brain in a constant low-grade panic. When you manifest something, when you declare this is what is going to happen, you are feeding your amygdala a story of certainty. Is it real certainty? No. Is it an illusion? Maybe. But the thing is, your amygdala cannot tell the difference. And you're essentially tricking your brain's alarm system into standing down. And when that happens, your stress response, it quiets. Your cortisol, it drops. You stop operating in that survival mode and you start actually working. I mean, think about how much mental energy you waste second guessing yourself. Like, is this the right path? Or what if this doesn't work out? Should I be doing something else? That's your amygdala constantly pulling the fire alarm while you're trying to work and trying to focus. Manifestation done right is like telling the alarm, we're good, we already know how this ends, and suddenly you can focus. Now the second thing manifestation does is it reduces decision fatigue in your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain which is responsible for planning, for decision making, and for long-term thinking. It's your most sophisticated mental resource, but it has a problem that it gets exhausted. So every decision you make, even a very small one, it costs cognitive energy. And psychologists call this decision fatigue. And the more choices you face, the faster your prefrontal cortex burns out. Because we evolved in an environment of scarcity where choices were very rare. You know, our brains were not designed in a world where you can order from a 60-item menu or choose between 400 Netflix shows or pick from 12 different career paths. Now, a very simple way to look at this is, imagine you go into a cafe with your friends, and before you enter the cafe, one of your friends, they've already placed the order for you. So when you enter, on the table, the entire table is covered with the kind of food and drinks that you enjoy. And compare that to standing at the counter, staring at a menu with 30 options, trying to figure out if you want oat milk or almond milk or hot or iced or one shot or two. It's the same cafe, same you, but a completely different mental state. That's what manifestation does for your prefrontal cortex. When you've already decided this is the goal, this is the direction we're building towards, you have effectively removed a massive category of decisions. Like, you're not spending mental energy every morning asking, is this still the right thing to do? Because that's already been answered, and your prefrontal cortex can focus entirely on how, not whether. And the thing is, when you decide in advance exactly what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, you're more likely to actually follow through. And it's not because you become more motivated, but because you've already made the decision. There's no internal debate left. And when the moment arrives, your brain doesn't ask, should I? It just does. That's manifestation. You're essentially preloading your brain with a decision so it doesn't have to spend energy making it again and again. By the way, there's a very simple exercise that brings all of this together. I've covered that in a separate video. I will actually add the link in the description down below. It's worth checking out after this video. Now, the third mechanism is accountability. And this is the one where social psychology, it meets neuroscience, because when you manifest something and you announce it, whether it's to a friend or to a group of people, or even just in a journal, you activate what researchers called identity-based commitment. You have now made this goal a part of your social identity. And human beings, we are wired at a deep neurological level to behave consistently with how they've presented themselves to others. And why that matters is, once you've said it out loud, not doing it feels wrong. There's just, that kind of discomfort, almost like a nagging pull that your brain creates when your actions, they don't match your words. And that discomfort, it actually pushes you forward. And even if you haven't, let's say, told anyone, even if you've only privately declared it to yourself, research still shows it works, because a private commitment, it activates your sense of personal integrity. Now you have a version of yourself that has made a promise, and your brain, it wants to maintain consistency with that version. This is why journaling, vision boards, and verbal declarations aren't entirely without merit. It's not only because the universe is listening, but because you are. And your brain, it takes that seriously. Now, understanding this is one thing, but actually applying it is what changes everything. I've created another video in which I share one simple manifestation exercise that brings all of this together in a practical way. I've added the link in the description down below, and it should be on the screen, and I'll see you there.